So let me ask you a question. How is the market where you are located? How's the real estate market? We get asked this all the time. And actually, I love this question because it's a good chance to be able to share where I am as a real estate agent, where the market is in Lakeland and Polk County, what my thoughts are, what my opinions are, which is all fine, dandy, wonderful. But what really stands out is what? Are the facts. You've heard that before, the facts don't lie, right? Just the facts, ma'am. You've heard of that. I mean, what are the facts telling us in the real estate market today? So I'm not sure when you're watching this video. Thanks so much for tuning in, first of all. Thank you, I appreciate that. And local real estate agent for 30 years and right here in Central Florida, Lakeland, Florida. But what I love to do is review the numbers because the numbers speak for themselves. The numbers will tell us what's happening in the market. It is now middle of August 2026, so a little over halfway point in the year. And before I get into the numbers, one thing I will tell you that I was just talking to a seller, a home seller, super nice man, have his home listed here in Lakeland. It's more of a luxury home. He's out west now, and so we're talking about the market, and smart guy, we're super nice family. So Brian, tell me about what the market is looking like, and I know from a macro point of view what that's looking like also. So we kind of talked through that a little bit. In reflecting, I told him, I said, so coming through the summer, school is now started up, getting ready to be football season, hallelujah. But one thing I will look back at summer of 2026 and say it was a very average summer, average to slightly slow. Some summers are gangbusters, some of them are just middle of the line, some of them are dead. This summer was pretty middle of the line to slightly slow. And I think it's because of a number of things, of course. But what we found was people are moving slower, they're taking their time, homes are sitting a little bit longer on the market. Nothing to freak out about or panic about. They just are. Rates are not our friend right now. They're still at 6.5, 6 3/4, which historically speaking, by the way, it's not a bad rate at all. But we get so spoiled with 2021, 2022, 2.5%, 3%, whatever. That's in the past. And so what we're seeing is the summer was a little bit slower. However, under $300,000, things were still flying off the shelf, as might one think. But let's talk about solid statistics where things are today. So I printed off a report through the Lakeland Association of Realtors for the Lakeland markets, okay? And Lakeland is the biggest city in Polk County. The other markets, Bartow, Winter Haven, Auburndale, some of the other markets won't vary that much in these numbers. This is going to give you a pretty good representation and idea of the market. And so I'm not going to read every price category, but what I am going to do is highlight some of the main things that I think you're going to find interesting in this market. So let's go. All right, so I'm looking at a statistic sheet, and let me go right to the bottom line. The number of units sold January 1st through the end of July, 7 months, 2,770. The average list price was $348,894. The average sale price was $340,547 for a percentage of list to sell of 98% overall. I'm going to come back to that. The average DOM, or days on the market, was 74 days. And there are currently, as of the printing of this particular sheet here, about 1,445 listings available in all of the price ranges. So what does that mean? We've seen our average price range stay around the $350 for the last year or two. That's an average, okay? And what I still love to see from a home seller point of view and from a home buyer point of view, maybe not quite as much, is that homes are still holding their values. We're not seeing markets crash here. We're not seeing the values go way down in Lakeland. No matter what the news says, we're actually one of the top 10 fastest growing counties in the nation. Like it or not, we are. I think it's great. I love it. 98% list to sell on an average. Okay, let's get into some of the details. So between $250,000 and $300,000, that represented a 16.71% market share. The average list price, again, $250,000 to $300,000, was the average list was $280,000. I'm not going to read all the and some change. The average sale price was $275,000, which is about 98% of list to sell. So if you're listing your home for $280,000, you can statistically plan on you're going to need to have a little bit of negotiating room, 2% in this case. 2 to 3% is what I usually like to give people a general idea of, because it's about that. Now, the higher you go in price range, the less to sell percentage does slightly tear down, but not greatly. $1 million or over, the average list price is 1.3. The average sale price is 1.22 for a 94% of list to sell. That particular, and by the way, we've sold 23 homes in $1 million and over just in Lakeland, which is pretty impressive for little old Lakeland, being a realtor here 30 years, growing up here for over 55 years. 23 homes, $1 million or over sold here in Lakeland. Blows me away. The average days in the market is 135. Okay, so that's slightly up. What's that, 4 to 5 months it takes to sell $1 million home? Go figure, right? Not as many buyers in that price category. A little bit more heavy inventory in that price category too. So let's talk about, we're only going to cover 2 other price categories, which I think may be relevant to where you are. 3 to 350, okay, represents a 17.83% of the market, so almost 18% of the market, which is the greatest, as you might think. The average list price is $329,900. The average sale price is $324,800 for a 98% list to sell price. Average days in the market, 82 days. So it used to be, we see the total average of 74. That was probably floating in the high 60s, low 70s. So that's up a little bit, statistically speaking, to 82. Nothing crazy. It's not like it's 300, right? So don't turn on all don't get all crazy. It's still not bad. Still fine. Last price category, 350 to 400,000, is our second most popular price category, meaning that's where the second amount of home buyers are. It's 17.11%. So right behind the other price category. The average sale or list price, $380,000. The average sale price, $375,000. You may expect that for a 99% list to sell. That's strong. Now, this is rounding this up, as you can tell, because that's not quite that 1% negotiating room, but so it's 99%. So 59 days on the market. So only 2 months on the market between 350 and 400,000. It's pretty good. Now, right now, currently, there's the greatest number of inventory, 239, in that $350,000 to $400,000 price range. So again, 3 to 350, there's 204 on the market as of the end of July. Between 350 and 4, it's 239, which is the greatest number of inventory. Again, because that's where most of the buyers are in this particular market. So I thought those numbers were pretty interesting. Here's what I would tell you, which is another interesting statistic. $700,000 and over only represents, I'm looking here, about 3.5% of the market sold in the Lakeland area so far this year, okay? But the list to sell, 97%, 97, 96. And then again, the million and over is 94. So still pretty strong. So people are still getting their prices. But here's what I'll say in summing this video up. There's 3 reasons a home doesn't sell: price, location, condition, and it's normally price, right? Got to price your home right. If you price your home right, the market will tell you, because you will be getting offers. And if you overprice your home, the market will also tell you they're not going to look at it, or they're going to offer low because they don't think it's worth it. But I see the home sellers that price their home right, that do the best they can in getting their home ready to go to market. If you have the upgrades, that's what people are expecting these days, like it or not. Again, doesn't have to be perfect. Even new homes aren't perfect, but people like move-in ready homes, okay? If you want information on a checklist, which I can provide to you, how to get your home ready to go to market, please DM me. All my contact information is below. I'm happy to send that to you. This is one that I didn't just get off chat, that I actually made for my 30 years of experience, which again is not complicated. By the way, not a lot of high dollar things too, like practical stuff you can do yourself or on the cheap. Okay, so I'll send that to you if you message me below, my email, my cell phone. But those that are getting their home ready to go, they're pricing it correctly, their condition is more or less move-in ready. It's not perfect. It's never going to be perfect. These homes are selling. These homes are selling. And if you price your home at market slightly below, buyers are smart. They're going to understand. Buyers aren't, they're looking online. They can look at a lot of the same Realtor.com, Zillow. They're looking at the same search engines that a lot of us are. They can go online and look at stuff. So what does that mean? That means when you go to buy or sell a home, it is super important to work with a professional who knows the market, who's doing this every day, who knows the numbers, who also just has a feel of the market to get an idea of what's selling, what's not, what's a good offer to make, the locations that are preferable, all the different questions you're going to have. Myself and my team would love to connect with you. So I hope this video has found value in your eyes. I love doing this. I love selling real estate. The Lord has put me in this field to help people out, and I just love what I do. So let's connect. All my contact information is below. Do me a favor first. hit that subscribe button. Subscribe to this if you like this content. I give other valuable tips on buying and selling in Central Florida, and I do a bunch of cool home tours too. Check around YouTube and you'll see a bunch of really cool home tours. I love doing those. But I hope these numbers have helped you. But here's the thing, let's have a one-on-one conversation, talk about your specific need. I'd much rather do that than anything else. So God bless, have a great day.